Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. And if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
Sure. So my name is Dr. Ann. You can definitely call me Ann. I live in Northern California, Redding, California specifically. I am a dentist, entrepreneur, and founder of Hippotanicals. I would say Hippotanicals is a sustainable, all-natural, yet based by science body care brand that offers products that are made with 9 or fewer simple plant-based ingredients. Our packaging is also completely plastic-free and biodegradable. I would say our mission is really just to be a blessing to people, animals, and the planet, which is why our ingredients are clean, toxin-free, we're certified vegan, and like I said, our packaging is compostable. So as a matter of fact, when you're done with, let's say, our lip balms or toothpaste tablets, you can simply toss it in your compost bin. Worms love it. So I would say in a nutshell, what sets us apart is that we're not just products. We're a lifestyle brand that promotes healthier living through products and educational health tips. Because I'm a dentist, I love educating my patients as well as anyone who will listen.
That's amazing. So what gave you the idea for this business?
Yeah, so let me see. I'm going to give you my short version first, and if you want to delve into anything else, I'd be more than happy to share. But it was in 2020, Dan, when I developed this gnarly rash on my face. It turns out it was from a commercial lip balm. However, due to its long list of ingredients, I could not pinpoint the cause. And so I started to make my own lip balms using minimal plant-based ingredients. It worked. I was so excited. And that's when I knew that I had a passion for making truly natural, trustworthy products. Because the lip balm I was using was actually a natural lip balm, but there's so many ingredients in there. So I wanted something that would truly be not only safe, of course, there's always going to be allergens out there. There's going to be someone who's allergic to something, but at least with few ingredients, it's easier to pinpoint.
Awesome. So I guess in terms of it's one thing to build this product for yourself, but it's obviously a whole different thing to start a business. So in terms of actually going out and commercializing this product, what did that process look like for you?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, no, that's a great question. That's the exciting part. So we'll go back to 2020. When I started making these different products, it was such a fun passion. It wasn't until I guess my sister doesn't want me to tell everyone, but okay, so she got laid off because of, the economic reasons. And I said, shoot, I want to be able to create this hobby and make it into a business where not only can I share this with other people, but also help create jobs. And so during that time frame, Dan, I would say over a matter of several months, there were a lot of prayers, a lot of just strategic planning, because I actually happen to have a business background, to an MBA prior to going to dental school. So I did market research. I looked at potential competitors and came up with a business plan. And so in order to make it into the business, I really had to look at, okay, who am I targeting? I know it's going to be people like me or young moms, even outdoor enthusiasts. So once I solidified my customer base, or what I thought it would be, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to make a social media page on Instagram. And so I just started, sharing about it, and 100% organically, we started drawing in people who were like, oh, great, holistic body care stuff that's also good for the environment. We have toothpaste tablets that are safe for the entire family. So honestly, Dan, up until recently, everything's been really organic, just being able to share my story authentically on social media, as well as podcasts like this. Dan, I'm so grateful I'm on your podcast, but because of my healthcare position within my own network, knowing other physicians and just healthcare practitioners in general, I was invited on their podcast to share my health journey, as well as, everything that we put in our bodies, our lifestyles, sleep, diet, all of those things really make an impact on our health. And so I was able to also bring in Hippotanicals, and from that, more organic growth. But aside from that, I've also been reaching out to stores, local stores. I would have a quota because I'm like, gosh, I got to share this with other stores. And to my amazement, we received quite a bit of great feedback. And to date, we've reached over 100 storefronts nationwide now. Just made a second corporate partnership last week. So yeah, very, very grateful. It's been crazy.
That's awesome. So I guess in terms of your business, right? So is it mostly B2B, or do you do direct to consumer, e-commerce? And if it is from the B2B side, I'm curious, are you also in the office of some of these physicians, or is it really just in stores? What does all of that look like for you?
Yeah, no. So initially I would say we were really just B2C because of social media. But then someone said, you know what, Anne, you should start reaching out to some of the local stores. And so once I start reaching out to the local stores in my own hometown, mainly natural stores, they look like little mini Whole Foods. Because I received they received it so well, I started reaching out. So I would say to date, Dan, we're about 30% B2C and 70% B2B. And that's comfortable with me because I love my position as a dentist. B2C, you have to do a lot of marketing whereas with B2B, I introduce myself. And by the way, I do have a great relationship with all my businesses that I work with. But it's a little bit easier because they'll make, a set amount of orders. It's like, okay, well, we need this many units. Easy, because I've been making all my products from my kitchen, minus the toothpaste tablets. Thankfully, I found a manufacturer for that. But yeah, no, it's if I wasn't a full-time dentist, well, this year I went down to part-time, but I think it would be a different story. But because I do still practice as a dentist, the B2B is 70% is comfortable right now.
That's awesome. But I guess being in stores, right? There's always a challenge of not being able to sell at the store. So do you go yourself, or do you have people that are actually there, giving samples? How do you ensure that, people actually try your product and buy your product?
I would say I'm pretty strategic with what kind of stores we reach out to. The ones that we typically partner with are, like I said, little mini Whole Foods. They're up into this year, we've been partnering with just independent stores, privately owned stores. And so the consumers who are already going to those shops are looking for natural ingredients. And so I haven't really had an issue with that. The other stores that do carry our products are refillery types of places where you could bring your own jar, you fill up your shampoo, you buy soaps that aren't in packaging, and so gift shops as well. Now I will say though, Dan, because we just partnered with CVS and Flick Hospitality, this literally just very recently. I know it's a different ball game, and so with that, we're first starting on CVS.com, because I will say CVS is definitely not the same demographics as we've been partnering with up until this point. So we're going to test it out online. Right now, CVS doesn't have anything like their toothpaste tablets. They're all in plastic packaging, but ours is completely compostable. So, they're like, wow, because there's a need for this. Obviously, trends show that the sustainable natural market is growing 10% every year, and it's doubling every 7.5 years. And so they recognize that there is a market for this. And so we're going to try it out. I haven't launched yet. We're in the process of that. And then Flick Hospitality is the second corporate that has wanting to partner with us. And right now they're going to be carrying our products in convenience stores. They're about to expand nationwide as well. They generally have these cafeterias where they're in huge hospitals like Merck Hospital. I'm sure you've heard of that, Dan.
Yes.
Anyway, so it's all new, but they're wanting to support private, small businesses. Oh, and then there are other companies that are really wanting to focus on sustainability. So because of the drive for sustainability, I know there's just going to have to be a partnership in terms of marketing and letting people know it is important. So maybe ask me in a year. I'll see.
Yeah, because Yeah, because I'm curious, because like for sure, like if you're like in a specialty store, like a mini Whole Foods, right? The
Mhm.
people there probably understand your product. But if you're in a CVS or a hospital convenience store, there's probably like more education that's required for people to understand, okay, like what is this? Why should I buy it? Why is it better for me? Which can be, like a bit of a challenge. But like you said, I mean, it's exciting because you have to go out there and explore those opportunities to really scale your business.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I know that there is opportunity for, I know that for instance, Click Hospitality will have an information sheet about the brand. And in terms of CVS.com, thankfully, because it's online right now, I almost feel like it might be easier to tell people about the product versus if you're on a shelf. Another company that I'm talking, well, I guess I won't say the name yet because I'm not launched on there yet, but I am talking to another national natural food brand. We're testing in markets that we're already selling to, such as Colorado, California, East Coast side, where we already know that there's a demand for natural stores. But yeah, I would say we've been doing 100% organic growth without any ads, but this year we're going to start implementing some targeted ads for CVS.com for the other corporates that I'm going to be partnering with.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, that totally makes sense. So I guess like for you, right, starting this business in 2020 and up to now, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges that you currently face in the business?
Oh, goodness. I would say I was so excited about wanting to grow this so quickly that in retrospect, I wish I would have talked to more advisors and consultants early on because I made some mistakes that costed thousands of dollars and time. For example, my branding, Dan, we started out as Happy Hippo Plant Organics. I didn't really even think about trademark, protecting it. I figured, okay, well, I searched it online. No one has this name. But it turns out after, gosh, about 2.5 years into this, I finally spoke with an attorney and they said, yeah, your name's not protected because it sounds too much like other brands, even though it's spelled with an I, happy, is spelled with an I at the end versus the Y. And so I was faced with the decision of, okay, do I rebrand? And, gosh, all this packaging that I've invested into, or, there's a possibility of legal issues later down the road. So it turned out to be a blessing in disguise, though, Dan. I decided to rebrand to Hippotanicals, which I like better anyway. It's still like hippo head, but instead of that long name Happy Hippo Plant Organics, Hippotanicals is a blend between the herbivore hippo with botanicals. So the name's cooler. It doesn't sound like a baby butt diaper balm, which I've been told that Happy Hippo does sound like a baby brand. But so I was just really ambitious about growing my company. I'm like, okay, well, if I could purchase this packaging for, if I could get the price point down by buying thousands of units, I could save money. But in the end, unfortunately, you kind of lose money. So going forward, I've learned that you take risks, of course, but take managed risks.
Right.
Yeah.
So kind of like ordering products more strategically based on a purchase order, based on demand, making sure that you're not, overstocked with inventory because, product can go bad. So you want to make sure that your customers are seeing the highest quality of your products.
Yes. Yes. 100%, Dan. Absolutely.
Awesome. So obviously now we're about halfway into 2024. So for 2024 to be successful for you, what does that look like?
Oh my goodness. Right now we have so many corporate businesses that are in the pipeline. I already feel like we've succeeded because we've already made 2 corporate partnerships just within the last couple months. I would say success would be if I could continue to be able to give my message more clearly. I would love to eventually make a partnership with Whole Foods in REI because of the outdoor enthusiasts. We are working with a company that's very similar. I won't say the name yet until we're completely launched. But because right now there are so many different moving parts, Dan. Like I mentioned, I've been making most of the products in my own kitchen up until this point. We do have manufacturers and distribution channels in line. And it's just a matter of, and I'm working with so many advisors and consultants just to kind of get those in process. But success, gosh, that's such a vague thing, because I feel so grateful. I would have never imagined to even be in this position where I'm at right now. So I just
It's amazing.
hope that, yeah, just continue to move forward. And also the education aspect. I would love to, like, I love what you're doing, Dan, talking with people. Once I get everything aligned and I have more time, not making the products and shipping out the stuff myself, but I'd love to do more educational content, because that is really the passion and the heart behind everything that I do.
That's awesome. So nowadays, many companies use things like AI. So do you guys currently use, high level technology like AI, or if not, where do you think that it may add value for you?
So that is a new realm for me. I know I would like to use that, implement that on my website. I guess with marketing as well. I haven't, because I'm running this business really myself. I've started kind of outsourcing tasks, with like emails and stuff like that. But it's so new to me, Dan. I need to learn more about that for sure. Need to
Yeah,
implement.
definitely. So what would you say is like the one biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew before you started this business?
Gosh, do I wish I knew? That entrepreneurship can be lonely sometimes. And having a support system, I think, because no one in my family, we're all healthcare practitioners in my family, not really entrepreneurship. So I wish I would have found some mentors ahead of time, maybe even joined like a local entrepreneurship chapter beforehand, because that would have helped prevent many mistakes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's like that network of entrepreneurs is critical because, like you said, it's like people who are not entrepreneurs, it can be hard to understand exactly like what you're going through, the ups, the downs, the highs are really high, the lows are really low, but it can be challenging. But yeah, I think that like many people who haven't been through it don't get it as much as people who have been.
Right. But thankfully, through this process, I have met amazing friends, such as you, Dan, as well as an accelerator program where I met a bunch of great entrepreneurs, founders. And so every month we do meet and we talk about these things, ups, downs, goals. So it's been awesome.
That's great. So if we're going to have this conversation again in 1 year from now, where do you see your business going?
In 1 year, yeah, I definitely am very excited. I see it as a national brand because it already is heading that way. I would love to be a female version of Dr. Oz because I love what he does. I educate my patients every day, just not just the oral care, but our lifestyle, like I mentioned earlier, diet, what we put in our bodies, sleep, even mental health, community. Community is so important. So I see myself just sharing that message, whether it be through products, education. Yeah, I want it to be known by everyone in this nation.
Love that. So if somebody watching this wanted to reach out to you, do you mind sharing your website or social media? I guess best ways to get in contact.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to connect. I love helping younger people or even just people starting out wanting to know more about entrepreneurship or just, lifestyle changes. You can find my website at www.hippotanicals. So it's hippo, like the animal hippo, and tanicals, TANICALS.com. My social media, Instagram is the same. It's at Hippotanicals. Facebook, I would say the best way to reach me would be you can email me through my website email or reach out on Instagram or
Awesome.
LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Ann, thank you so much for your time today, and we're rooting for you.
Oh, thank you so much, Jan. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. All right. Bye.